though I have 2 laptops, 1 desktop, and an iPad.
With 3, 4 computers.
I got a Mac, I got a Windows machine, I've got an iPod, I had an iPad, I dumped it. And I've got a cellular smartphone. And I've got a wireless printer.
I have a MacBook Pro, I've got 2 iPads, Rod has one, I have one, and I've got a wireless printer.
3 computers that are usable right now. Pretty soon we'll have 4 because I'm buying a new one.
We each have a PC, plus my husband has an iPad, and I have a phone.
I most recently got pretty involved in Facebook because of the tragedy in the family, and it was just a great way to, for everybody to share stories and pictures, and I've even learned how to put a picture on Facebook. And
when it becomes such an important thing that it's a reflex to reach for it.
I communicate daily on the computer, and I do a lot of shopping on the computer, and I also email my family and friends. I have lived in many different locations, and so I have many friends around the world, and I'd never be able to afford keeping in touch with them if I didn't have a computer.
It probably runs my life a lot more than you would think. For my age, I'm retired, but I do 90% of my stuff online. We just came back from 10 days in Glacier where we didn't have any internet or any cellular service, and I really felt the withdrawal symptoms.
For communication, it's very important.
You got a question, your computer or your iPad is right there. You reach for it, you ask the question.
I download books a lot, yeah, and music also, yeah.
I have friends in China, I have friends in Panama, I have friends in Africa. I have 2 different friends on boats, and I use the social media to talk to them.
One of the first things I do in the morning is I get up and turn my email on. I correspond with my daughter in another state, and that's one of the ways that we communicate more so than just with the telephone.
I use them probably the majority of the day. One of my favorite pastimes is, while I'm watching television in the evening, is I'm working jigsaw puzzles on the internet. They are wonderful.
Well, it's terribly frustrating because you've got nothing else to go to. When it becomes such an important thing that it's a reflex to reach for it.
Oh, I'm so frustrated, because a lot of what I do is time related. Like right now, I'm involved in being the sort of registrar for the Clackamas Community College courses. And I need to get online to finish the paperwork before I leave on my trip.
I need it. When the internet goes down, I don't freak out or anything, but I do feel an emptiness in my life, and I would not want to live where I didn't have solid, reliable, everyday internet that is fast.
We both use it every day, and one time when it was down it was not steady for 2 months, I thought I'd lost my right hand. It was just unbearable. It made me irritable.
I'm looking forward to all of it. I think the idea of being able to put in a work order or ask for a surrey or any of that, order a meal, to being able to just do that.
Looking forward to when we get a more stable system.
Definitely stability. That is stability of signal, it's always there, not too many interruptions. A stable speed.
I hope that the speed gets better, because I notice that there are times when it's really busy because everyone is on the internet, and therefore it takes a huge amount of time waiting to get a space, I guess, on the trunk or whatever.
Speeds that are not reactive to number of users online.
Sometimes I deliberately use the computer around 12 midnight. That way very few people are up and using it.
That if you're watching a movie, it'll stop.
Yes, I don't do any streaming now because I don't think it's fast enough. And I would get irritated by waiting.
The integration is what I'm looking at, where you're integrating your phone service and your Wi-Fi.
Stability. Hopefully at 8 a.m. in the morning when I want to get on, I can get on.
Definitely increased. I'm using it all day long.
Yes, it has probably tripled, if not quadrupled, in the last 2 or 3 years.
I listen to music. I download and watch movies, television shows.
Much more, much more. I guess it's because we live away from all of our family except the son that lives here. So I have a need to, communicate more on the internet than ever before.
I mean, I'm carrying a smartphone now. I'm almost as bad as these kids. I don't necessarily walk around with it in my hand, but I check that, I use it.
And I think it's time that we face the fact that we are in the technology age. Even though some of us are kicking and screaming, a lot of us are interested in that. And I think that once you get people started, they say, hey, look at that. I can press this button and I can talk to my granddaughter in Texas. Maybe they never did that before.